Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred on this date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to the sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and you are you. We most likely will be joined by the Golden Loon at some point this broadcast, hopefully sooner rather than later. Anyway, I am Xander. Yeah, I've already said that. You are you, and today is Moon's Day, aka Monday, April 10th, 2023. So let's jump into the history, shall we? Starting us off in 837, we have Comet 1P837F1 Halley's Comet, approached within 0.0334 astronomical units of Earth, which, as I've said before, an astronomical unit is the distance between the Earth to the Sun. So it came within whatever that's really close. So, 1500, France captured Duke Ludovico Sforza of Milan. That's not good. 1516, first Jewish ghetto established. Venice compelled Jews to live in a specific area. That's not nice. 1607, the British colonial expedition that would found Jamestown departed Puerto Rico for the American mainland. Alright, so Jamestown is on the way. 1710, the first law regulating copyright was issued in Great Britain. Wow. Okay. 1790, the U.S. patent system forms, so that's pretty interesting. 80 years later on the exact date, calendar date at least, not the year, of course, but first copyright laws, and then the U.S. starts doing patents. That's interesting. Moving on up to 1802, the Great Trigonometrical Survey began to survey the entire Indian subcontinent, led by William Lambton and the East India Company. This was completed in 1871. It took 69 years to do that. Holy crap. Wow, but they did a good job. Let's check this out here. Great Trigonometrical Survey. Yep, here we go. Wow, look at that. It was a project that aimed to survey the entire Indian subcontinent with scientific precision. It was began in 1802 by the British infantry officer William Lambton under the auspices of the East India Company. Alright. So we have our first link in the underbar of the description below. That will be there post-show because I don't know how to put it in live. I use a different service like I used to, or than I used to. But yeah, no. For further reading on this is amazing. I mean, like look at these pictures. Like this is what they did. Like they mapped out everything. No wonder it took so long. Anyway, let's move on up to 1815. Austria declared war on the Kingdom of Naples. All right. 1815 as well, Mount Tambora in the Dutch East Indies experienced a cataclysmic eruption, one of the most powerful in history, killing around 71,000 people. This caused a global volcanic winter. Holy crap. That's we don't have anything like that for the next 10 years. We have enough problems. 1816, second bank of U.S. chartered. Well, who cares about number 2? You know, everybody wants to know what's the first bank. So, 1816 as well, Samuel Taylor Coleridge recited his poem Kubla Khan to fellow poet Lord Byron, who persuaded him to publish it. Alright. 1821, yeah, here's that volcano. Oh, man, that's terrifying. 1821, Patriarch Gregory V of Constantinople was hanged by the Turks from the main gate of the Patriarchate. His body was thrown into the Bosphorus. Oh, that's very unceremonious right there. Whatever he did, not good. 1825, the first hotel in Hawaii opened. Alright. So anyone who wanted to go to Hawaii before this date in 1825, you're SOL. You were camping, my friend. 1826, 10,500 inhabitants of the Greek town Messolongi started leaving the town after a year's siege by Turkish forces. Very few of them survive. That reminds me of a lot of other points in history, specifically something in World War II. We've just been joined by
The Golden Loon.
Welcome to the show. Better late than never.
Yeah, you're already up to 1821.
We are. You missed one. This is
Hawaii.
Well, like that's not Hawaii, but we did do Hawaii. The first hotel in Hawaii opened on this date in 1825. But this 1815, I'll recite this here so he'll know. Mount Tambora in the Dutch East Indies experienced a cataclysmic eruption, one of the most powerful in history, killing around 71,000 people and causing a global volcanic winter. Whoa. Holy crap!
No
wow.
Kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Where was that again?
That was in the Dutch East Indies. Wherever that is. That has to be in the Pacific. Hold on, let's check this out. Dutch East Indies. Yeah, down in there. New Guinea, there's Vietnam, there's China.
Yeah.
So in that area.
Okay.
So, but, yeah. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1827, George Canning became British Prime Minister upon the resignation of Robert Jenkinson. Lived to only serve 119 days.
That's not much.
No, so he tried though. 1841, the New York Tribune began publishing under editor Horace Greeley. So, happy birthday, New York Tribune.
Yeah, I guess so.
1845, more than 1,000 buildings were damaged by a fire in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
Yeah, as Californians, we know a thing or two about fire.
Yeah.
Oh. And we got a historic invention here. 1849, the safety pin was patented by Walter Hunt in New York City. Sold rights later on for $400, it seems. Wow.
The safety pin.
The safety pin.
Holy moly.
Mothers around the world, thank you for assisting with their diapers. So, 1858, Big Ben, and here's something like I just recently came into understanding. Big Ben, a 13.76-ton bell, is recast at the Whitechapel Bell Foundry. So we all know the famous clock tower in London, England.
Yeah, Big Ben.
No, it's that the bell is called Big Ben. The tower is Queen Elizabeth Clock Tower.
Oh,
yeah, it has a different name.
Big Ben was always the bell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I always thought that the tower was called Big Ben.
No, I didn't know what it was called. Big Ben was always the bell.
I did not know that.
Well, there you go. That's why you listen to this stuff.
Yeah, that's why I look into it. I saw a video actually just the other day about, just last night about from Top 5's channel on YouTube, the 15 most interesting clock towers around the world.
Yeah.
And of course they listed, what I believed was called Big Ben.
Yeah.
But it's Queen Elizabeth Tower or whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Okay, now it said recast in 1850. So when was it originally cast?
Big Ben original. Big Ben, completed May 31st, 1859.
So that had to be.
But this is 1858.
Yeah, so that has to be.
Maybe it was a defect.
Could have been.
But this is recast.
Yeah, maybe it's a.
What happened to the original Big Ben? 1699, the clock tower had fallen into disrepair. The bell is sent to St. Paul's Cathedral, but broke on the way. 1716, the bell from the clock tower was recast and later hung in the southwest tower of St. Paul's Cathedral. If Big Ben is ever unable to strike, the bell in St. Paul's is heard instead. So this is the second time it was recast.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we go. That makes more sense.
Dang. 1864, Austrian Archduke Maximilian became Maximilian I, Emperor of Mexico.
Woohoo.
An Austrian Emperor of Mexico, not the. Well, you know what? I wonder how many times an Austrian has gone on to take over another country. It's happened twice now.
The first.
Well, this is the first I have here.
Okay, the second.
Hitler.
Oh. God.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if the mic has been picking you up. We are actually in the process of getting a new mic here, folks, so it will be a little bit, probably another week or so. Anyway, 1865, at Appomattox, Confederate General Robert E. Lee issued General Order Number 9. This was his last, because the Civil War ended.
Yeah.
We spoke about that yesterday. But what is General Order Number 9? Here we go. Let's check this out. After 4 years of arduous service marked by unsurpassed courage and fortitude, the Army of Northern Virginia has been compelled to yield to overwhelming numbers and resources. I need not tell the brave survivors of so many hard-fought battles who have remained steadfast to the last that I have consented to this result from no distrust of them, but feeling that valor and devotion could accomplish nothing that would compensate for the loss that would have attended the continuance of the contest. I determined to avoid the useless sacrifice of those whose past services have endeared them to their countrymen. By the terms of the agreement, officers and men can return to their homes and remain there until exchanged. You will take with you the satisfaction that proceeds from the consciousness of duty faithfully performed, and I earnestly pray that a merciful God will extend to you his blessing and protection. With an unceasing admiration of your constancy and devotion to your country, and a grateful remembrance of your kind and generous consideration for myself, I bid you all an affectionate farewell. Robert E. Lee.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, everything is significant in history: the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's one hell of a send-off, though, you know?
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately, it didn't turn well when the North came down, the carpetbaggers, things like that, picked their bones.
Yeah, well, when there's a way to make money, people scavenge. So, 1866, the American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the ASPCA, formed. Yeah, we hear about them all the time.
Yeah.
1869, Congress increased number of Supreme Court judges from 7 to 9.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
1869, Jose Marti founded the Cuban Revolutionary Party. All right. 1871, William Hammond Hall's maps and surveys of Golden Gate Park were accepted. All right. And actually, that reminds me, like an earlier thing. Dutch East, the Great Trigonometrical Survey started in 1802, lasted until 1871, and it's when they surveyed and mapped the entire Indian subcontinent. 69 years of work. You know, you can see, like, you know, all the work they did. You know, like, you know, we were talking about that is insane. So.
That's a bunch.
Yeah. Did I add that link in here? Yes, I did. Okay. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1872, the first Arbor Day was celebrated in Nebraska. This was later changed to April 22nd.
Okay.
Well, we know about Arbor Day. So.
We do? What is it?
Arbor Day is when you, like, celebrate the trees. Hold on a second.
Didn't know that.
I did not know you did not know about Arbor Day.
No.
Arbor Day is a secular day of observance in which individuals and groups are encouraged to plant trees. Today, many countries observe such a holiday. Though usually observed in the spring, the date varies depending on climate and suitable planting season.
Okay.
So, but no, I've seen Arbor Days, you know, like marked on calendars as early as my childhood. Like, because you know how calendars, like, you know, whenever you used to get actual physical calendars, it showed you, like, you know, okay, Christmas, New Year's, Easter, you know, and all that stuff. Then, you know, like George Washington, President's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Arbor Day, you know, it was always on there too. So, anyway, let's move on up here. 1878, actually 1872 as well. The first National Black Convention met in New Orleans. All right. 1878, California Street Cable Car Railroad Company started service. Yeah, cable cars.
Yeah.
1882, Captain William Matson founded his shipping company, the San Francisco and Hawaii. So, if anybody knows about that, this is when it was formed. 1884, U.S. Senate accepted Belgian administration of Congo. What's the Belgians doing in the Congo?
Good question.
1887, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln's reburied his wife in Springfield, Illinois. I don't know why it's plural.
Yeesh.
Yeah, so he had to move her for some reason. 1896, Spiridon Luis of Greece wins inaugural Olympic marathon, 2 hours, 58 minutes, 50 seconds. In Athens, ran last lap accompanied by Constantine I, the emperor, the Holy Roman Emperor. Like, you know, like back then, like that was when it was still Constantinople. In Greece is, you know, right there.
Yeah.
So, wow. So the last lap, you know, the emperor. Could you imagine, you know, like being in a marathon and then like the president or something comes down and runs with you? That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
1898, first Navy law was passed by the German Reichstag. 1912, here we go. And, you know, what month is it? April? What happened in April? RMS Titanic set sail from Southampton for her maiden and final voyage. In a couple of days, we know what's coming.
Yeah.
1913, New York Highlanders played their first MLB game as the New York Yankees. They lost to the Washington Senators 2-1 at Griffith Stadium. So their first game as the Yankees, they lost. That's not good. I did not know.
Not a good way to start. I had no clue.
And I didn't know that they had a name before that. The New York Highlanders.
Yeah.
I wonder if Mom knew that.
doubtful, seeing how she was a Brooklyn Dodger fan.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Wow. She's not
Die
happy.
hard.
She's looking at me with
Oh
anger.
man,
now.
the thunderclouds are roaring.
Yikes! I better watch myself. 1913, President Woodrow Wilson threw out first ball. Senators defeated Yankees 2-1. Okay, so that's the same game.
Yeah.
So Woodrow Wilson, that piece of crap. 1915, Casterbridgian child laws adopted in Norway, one of the first laws in the world to protect the welfare of extramarital children. Well, what's the Casterbridgian? Let's check this out here real quick. One such effort to establish children's rights was in the Norwegian Parliament's passage of the Casterbridgian child laws in 1915, which granted children born outside of marriage the rights to inheritance and to bear their father's surnames. Wow. Talk about, taking things for granted, in today's world. Back then, it wasn't even a thing,
Yeah.
Societal standards and acceptances of things and all this stuff, groundbreaking back in the day. 1916, the Professional Golfers Association of America, PGA, was founded in New York City. Happy birthday, PGA.
Yeah.
Let's see here. 1917, munition factory explosion at Edison, Pennsylvania, killed 133 workers.
Oh, jeez.
During the First World War, 17.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ammunitions. Oh man, what a thing to go up.
Yeah. Well, at least you went out with a bang.
Oh, jeez.
Because, baby, you're a firework. 1919, Mexican revolutionary leader Emiliano Zapata was ambushed and shot dead by government forces in Morelos. Alright. So, more contention. 1923, we were speaking about this guy earlier. Speaking of Austrians, funny mustache man here, Adolf Hitler demanded hatred and more hatred in Berlin, Germany. Well, that sounds a lot like our current political situation right now, isn't it? Hate this, hate that. You don't support me, ban you, cancel. So. 1925, tubular steel golf club shafts were approved for championship play.
Oh, see, that lightened it up tremendously.
Yeah. 1925, Scribner's published The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. All right. A really good book. I wonder how long it'll be before they cancel that, too.
Yeah.
1925, Tsar renamed Stalingrad, which is now Volgograd. We know about Stalingrad.
Yeah, sure do.
1930, Theocotal synthetic rubber first produced in Yardley, New Jersey. Okay.
Synthetic rubber.
Synthetic
okay,
rubber, yeah. 1932, Paul von Hindenburg was re-elected president of Germany in a runoff election against Adolf Hitler. Yep, Hitler's rise,
Yeah.
1936, 200-inch mirror blank arrived in Pasadena. What does that mean?
200.
Pasadena, the history. Oh, the mirror for the Hale telescope.
Oh, what year?
1936.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, this is something else. Wait here. Oh, Hale telescope mirror transit. Okay, what is this? Caltech. 200-inch Pyrex primary mirror blank was cast on December 2nd, 1934. Yada yada. The disc remained in the oven at pouring temperature. Okay, so this explains that. So it's
for a telescope.
Yeah, it's for a telescope. So let's add that in here. Moving on up, 1938, Austria became a state of Germany.
I wonder how that transformed.
Hitler. He wanted to absorb his homeland into his new land.
Yeah.
So, 1938, New York made syphilis tests mandatory in order to get a marriage license.
Jeez.
I would support that.
Yeah.
So, 1939, Grenz mobilization due to Italian invasion Albania. Grenz. What's Grenz? Let's see here. Italian invasion of Albania. So Grenz, whoever Grenz is, they mobilized due to their Italian invasion of. Okay. All right. I present this as a challenge to the viewers. What the hell is Grenz? So. Let's move on up. 1941, independent state of Croatia, led by Ante Pavelic, established as fascist German puppet state. So much for independence.
Yeah.
1942, cigarettes and candy were rationed in Holland. All right.
Remember back in the day there were candy cigarettes.
I remember that too. That was in the night. I remember buying them off of the ice cream truck.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Wow. You blow through them, and it's powdered gum actually, and it makes it look like you're smoking.
Well, yours was fancier. We just sucked on ours. Had a little red tip for a light.
Ah.
It was just candy, nothing fancy.
Well, yours had a light. That's pretty fancy.
Not a light. It was painted red.
Oh.
So, like it was lit.
I thought you were talking about like a little like light bulb or something.
No.
Okay. Anyway, 1945, NFL's Boston Yanks and Brooklyn Tigers merged. Well, look at that.
Brooklyn Tigers. Huh.
1946, the first election for Japanese Parliament.
Ooh.
Before that, they were under the emperor.
Yeah. That was right after.
Directly. 1947, Jackie Robinson became the first black player of the 20th century to sign an MLB contract. Brooklyn GM Branch Rickey announced Dodgers had bought Robinson's contract from Montreal Royals. All right. 1953, House of Wax, the first color 3D movie, premiered in New York. First color 3D. 1953. 3D? All the way back then?
Sure.
Wow. But a movie?
Yeah.
I mean, the technology is not
pretty
that
young when you
difficult.
could go to, you had to put the paper glasses on
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
3D was a big rage.
Yeah.
And I was probably,
3D's gone
10
through
years
like a couple cycles of hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember like back in the early 2000s, it was the big thing for a while, and then now we have IMAX.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 1955, Ruth Elliott shot jilting lover David Blakely, last woman to be executed in the UK. Okay. So last woman to be executed in the UK. Look at that. 1956, Philips broadcast first Dutch color TV programs. Cool.
Huh.
1961, the Washington Senators play first game in franchise history with President John F. Kennedy in attendance. Lost a 4-3 decision to the Chicago White Sox. Well, that's unfortunate.
I'm trying to think of where the played their first game.
Washington Senators played their first game. Let's check this out here. By the way, welcome to the show, Romisser, a.k.a. Doom Guy, a.k.a. Father Pump. So, where? Let's see here. Well, it's not telling me. What stadium?
I'm trying to think of where the Washington Senators came from.
They moved. They played at Griffith Stadium one year once. Well, I present this as another, hold on a second. Where did the Washington Senators first play? Griffith Stadium, 1911 to 1960.
Okay, so they just moved. They got a new stadium. Okay. Yeah.
1962, 52,564 fans attended the first MLB game at LA's Dodger Stadium at Chavis Ravine. A 6-3 loss to the Cincinnati Reds. I know where that is.
Yeah.
1963, USS Thresher, a nuclear-powered submarine, sunk 220 miles east of Boston, killing 129 men, including 17 civilians. Did they collide or something, or what happened? Why would there be a civilian on a nuclear submarine? That doesn't sound right. So, 1964, demolition began in Upper Manhattan, New York City, on Polo Grounds Sports Stadium, home to the MLB Giants from 1891 through 1957. Wow. The Mets, 1962 and 63, and the NFL Jets, 1960 through 63. They're destroying a big chunk of history. Declare way for a housing project. Go live somewhere else. Leave the stadium alone. There's a lot of history there. It's too late now. But
Dodger Stadium took a lot of people who lived up in that Chavis Ravine. Took it out and put a stadium in there. They lost their homes.
I guess it's tit for tat in this situation.
Yeah.
1964, Iranian motor launch caught fire and sunk, killing 113 in the Persian Gulf. Iranian motor launch. So wait, what's a motor launch? A motorboat launch? Just like...
I guess.
How does that catch fire? It's made of cement.
Well, I don't know what this is.
Okay. 1970, Paul McCartney officially announced the split off of the Beatles. Okay.
Yeah.
1971, Philadelphia Phillies opened their new home, Veterans Stadium, with a 4-1 win over the Montreal Expos. 55,352, largest ever crowd to watch an MLB game in Pennsylvania. Dang. 1971, U.S. table tennis team arrived in the People's Republic of China. Aye.
Pretty sure we had no shot.
No. 1972, 20 days. Actually, in Forrest Gump, we completely rocked them.
Yeah.
So, another reason, why I say Forrest Gump is one of the most evil movies in all of history. But
Really? You say that?
Yep. 1972, 20 days after he was kidnapped in Buenos Aires, Oberdun Solestro was executed by communist guerrillas. Dang. That reminds me of that one guy who was, beheaded on TV during the jihad after 9/11 and all that stuff. That was some turbulent times there. 1972, a 7.0 earthquake killed 1/5, 20% of the population of the Iranian province of Fars. Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. That's, yeah. 1972 as well, the U.S., USSR, and 70 other nations agreed to ban biological weapons, but we still use them anyway. So, yeah. 1973, Kansas City Royals opened their new park, Royal Stadium, with 12-1 rout of the Texas Rangers. Attendance was 39,476. While that was going on in 1973 as well, Pakistan suspended the constitution. That's not good. And then 1974, American Boccaccio Association formed. What the heck is a Boccaccio? Sounds too much like bukkake. Is a non-profit scholarly organization dedicated to the promotion of the study and teaching of Giovanni Boccaccio's life. Okay. So it's an association about an artist. Well, let me add here this to the underbar of the description. It's a rather unfortunate last name for that guy. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1974, magicians Penn, Jillette, and Teller first met.
Oh.
Yeah, where is it? Here we go. 1974, kind of lagging.
I wonder if Gillette had anything to say.
Teller, actually, is the one who's always quiet.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not a mute. He actually does talk.
No, he does. I've seen him talk.
Up until recently, I thought he was legitimately a mute.
No.
So
that's just the shtick.
I remember seeing one. It was a video, and Teller came on. You didn't even I see your Moai head there, my friend. Teller came on, and it was funny. It was a really bad magician, and then Teller came by and was like, practice once every while.
That sounds like him. Practice every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. 1976, Cleveland Cavaliers won their first NBA Central Division title.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? Let's see if I can find it. Teller practice hurry once in a while. See if I can find it. Teller magician. All right. Well, I don't know where it is, but let's move on up here. We got 1977. The Cleveland Indians set club record for longest 9-inning game at 3 minutes 17 seconds. Okay, I think.
What? No. 3 hours.
3 hours, 17 minutes. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 1978, formation of Major Indoor Soccer League announced. All right. 1979, J.R. Richard of the Houston Astros pitched a complete game but set an MLB record by throwing 6 wild pitches in a 2-1 win over the LA Dodgers in the Astrodome. All right. 1981, a computer glitch kept Space Shuttle Columbia grounded. Yeah, one little problem.
That happens, yep.
1981 as well. Imprisoned provisional IRA hunger striker Bobby Sands was elected to British Parliament for Northern Ireland County of Fermanagh and South Tyrone.
I guess that's something significant. I'm not quite sure what.
Well, it sounds like he was in prison and then he gained a political position despite being behind bars, which I heard. Now this sounds like BS, but apparently someone in jail could run for president, and if he wins, they'll keep him incarcerated, but they can set up his cell so that way he can run the country from behind bars. That sounds very not true.
Well, as soon as you're sworn in, you commute your sentence.
But how can you run while in prison?
I guess you can't. Why not?
Because you broke the law. How are you supposed to be the person to uphold all the laws, the big cheese in charge, if you can't, not steal or murder somebody, Yikes. Well, then again, presidents steal and murder all the time. So what am I talking about?
You're just talking about one that got caught. That's all.
That's true. Anyway, in 1984, damaged Solar Max satellite snared by Challenger shuttle. So I guess it got hit by something, and then they were going to repair it or take it out of orbit or something. 1984 as well, U.S. Senate condemned the CIA mining of Nicaraguan harbors. What does that mean?
Well, they put mines in the harbor, I guess.
Oh. Why is the CIA doing that?
A lot of stuff they did in the past was kind of questionable.
A lot of stuff they do today is questionable. 1985, at the age of 80, Leo Sight became the oldest bowler to score a 300 game.
Oh, jeez.
So there's still time for you.
I have a shot.
Yeah. Steerreich. 1991, the last Automat, a coin-operated cafeteria, closed at 3rd and 42nd Street in New York City. An Automat, huh? Let's check it out. Automat. Images. An Automat is a fast food restaurant where simple foods and drinks are served by vending machines, and there is typically no wait staff. So essentially, like the precursor to what Japan has now with their banks and banks and banks of vending machines.
Yeah.
You can literally buy anything from a vending machine in Japan, including but not limited to something really gross involving underpants. But yeah, this is cool though. Like, this would have been interesting. Yeah, we spoke about this the other day, like a self-serving like food display.
Yeah.
Remember we spoke about the inventor of the
yeah.
So this is what I was thinking of.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1991, rare tropical storm developed in the southern hemisphere near Angola. This was the first to be documented by satellites. 1993, Ottawa Senators won first road game Islanders after a 38 straight loss. 38 straight losses.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, ouch.
How do you lose 38 straight?
That pain. I don't know. 1993 as well, Pittsburgh Penguins won their NHL record 17-game winning streak. So we go from losers to winners. Wow. 1995, New York City banned smoking in all restaurants that seat 35 or more, and this is a slippery slope. Slowly, what is it? Salami slicing our freedoms away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's a tough argument. You're talking food and smoke don't mix that well.
Here's an idea. You don't want to be around smoke? Don't go around smoke. What an idea.
Yeah.
If smoking offends you, go somewhere else.
But if they're smoking everywhere, then you can't go out and eat. That's the problem. You have a fine line between what your rights are and what your neighbor's rights are.
Yeah, and right now that line is very crossed because now we can't smoke anywhere.
Well, that's what they decided. Smoking infringes on your neighbor. That's more important when it comes to smoking.
Well, what about my rights?
Well, you have to make that decision.
Someone has to give
someone else's rights and your rights, and we've always got to tiptoe and make those decisions.
People gotta just stop being such pussies. Anyway, 1996, fastest wind speed ever recorded, not a tornado, at 408 kilometers an hour, 220 knots, 253 miles per hour, 113 meters per second, I guess, during Tropical Cyclone Olivia on Barrow Island in Australia. That's pretty fast. 253 mile per hour winds. That's faster than NASCAR.
That's up there.
Damn, that will pick up William Howard Taft and carry him away like a tissue paper, 2006, hundreds of thousands protest H.R. 4437, aka the Sensenbrenner bill in the U.S. What is that? Let's check this out here. Sensenbrenner bill, border protection, anti-terrorism, and illegal immigration. Okay, here we go. Act of 2005, though. This is something new. Wait, this is 2006.
Yeah.
It was a bill in the 109th U.S. Congress. It was passed by U.S. House of Representatives, blah, blah, blah. What did it do? Required up to 700 miles, or 1,120 kilometers, of double-layered fence. Double-layered fence along the Mexico-U.S. border at points with the highest number of illegal border crossings. So this is essentially probably all stuff that's been completely revoked now. So... that's interesting, though. 2012, Apple Inc. claimed to have a value of $600 billion, making it the largest company by market capitalization in the world. And even more of a reason that they need to be torn down. 2012 as well, UN, United Nations deadline for Syrian troop withdrawal passed as violence continued. All right. 2013, Japan and Taiwan signed an agreement on fishing rights around the Senkaku Islands. Yeah, there's a lot of contention going on over there, and what China is doing, they're like a lot of their citizens are going out there on their own private boats and fishing up, around Japan and Taiwan, making the entire ocean, in that whole sea barren.
They're doing it in clusters.
Yeah.
Not so much around Taiwan and Japan, but they're doing it out in the Philippines, the smaller Philippine islands, things like that, and really just fishing it out.
Yep. And what's really bad is that the Chinese government recognizes those boats, despite being civilian owned, as members of the Chinese Navy. So if anybody tries to do anything to them, then it's an attack against China itself, and then war starts. China just needs to go. Anyway, 2014, 29th Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees: Peter Gabriel, Hall & Oates, Kiss, Nirvana, Linda Ronstadt, Cat Stevens, the E Street Band, Brian Epstein, and Andrew Loog Oldham were put in. Took that long for Kiss, huh?
Yeah.
Kiss has been around forever, so...
Yeah, I remember when they hit.
2014 as well, the Council of Europe suspended Russia's right to vote. I agree. Especially since most of Russia is in Asia. 2016, explosion and a fire caused by fireworks at Putagal Temple in Kerala, India, killed more than 100 and injured nearly 4 times more, 400. That's not good. More explosion stuff. 2016 as well, Hong Kong pro-democracy political party Demosisto was established by Nathan Law, Joshua Wong, and Agnes Chow. Yeah, they were probably out there, fighting in 2019. So, 2017, British Vogue magazine announced Edward Enninful as new editor, first male and black person to hold position. Virtue signaling. So, there you go. Because Vogue is a magazine for women.
Yeah.
So why is it headed by a man? Virtue signaling because it's not just he's male, he's something else too, 2017, Alabama Governor Robert Bentley resigned over relationship with an aide and possible misuse of state funds to cover it up. Oh, that's not good. That's some Bill Clinton, stuff going on right there. Yeah. 2018, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg began testifying before U.S. Congress about data usage and security, and this is where that one meme comes from. Him staring. Hold on a second. Zuckerberg. Trial. This picture. He looks so inhuman. He looks less human than Data from Star Trek. Look at that.
Yeah.
He looks like he came from iRobot.
Yeah, I know, right? He's either a reptoid or an android or an alien, or he's not a human. That's for certain. 2019, China announced move to cull more than 1 million pigs in effort to eliminate African swine fever. A little interesting that this is happening in 2019. What happened later in 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to be getting back to that here in a minute. 2019 as well. We're going to be in 2019 for a minute here. First home delivery service by drone began in Canberra, Australia, by Wing, part of Google's Alphabet company.
By drone, huh?
By drone.
Ah.
Yep. Which that reminds me, and you said you didn't want to see it, but I have got to show you that video, this scary one. 2019, first ever photo of a black hole announced, taken by the Event Horizon Telescope collaboration in 2017 in Galaxy M87, 6.5 billion times the mass of Earth, 55 million light years away. The donut, or I guess the bagel, if anybody's seen Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, visible physical evidence that Albert Einstein's theory, because black holes used to be a theory until proven recently.
Yeah.
And now we have a picture of one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
6.5 billion times.
And what's really sad is most people just meme the fuck out of it. They just say, oh, look at that, it looks like a donut, ha ha. It's like, do you have any idea what level of scientific breakthrough this is, you ignorant little pup? People have got to realize, this is amazing. So, anyway, 2019, 4 tiny sweet bees were removed alive from a woman's eye in world's first operation of its kind at Fuling University Hospital, Taiwan. Why did she have bees in her eye?
What is a sweet bee?
Let's check this out. Sweet bee. Oh, not a bee. Bee. I almost said P. Okay, so it's a little bee. Okay.
It looks like a regular old bee.
Okay. Sweet bee. When her eyes became swollen and painful, she went to a hospital in southern Taiwan. Dr. Hong Chi-ting at Fuyin University Hospital pulled the 4-millimeter insects out by their legs. They were sweet bees, also known as halicate, according to the BBC. So somehow 4 insects got into this lady's eye.
They must be really small.
Yeah. That's terrifying, though. So, I kind of want to see a picture, but I don't at the same time. So, let's just move on up. 2019, a new species of human was announced named Homo luzonensis. 3 feet tall, remains dated 50 to 60,000 years ago. Found in a cave on an island of Luzon, Philippines. Wow.
I didn't realize another species was found.
I didn't either. This is why we do the show.
Yeah.
You know? And here we go, bringing us, circle back to, what happened later on in 2019. 2019, New York declared a public health emergency and compulsory vaccinations after a measles outbreak in Brooklyn with 285 cases. And when that didn't work, they rolled in the pandemic with Kung Flu. So, because they're always trying to do public health scares, and this one worked magnificently. 2021, China ordered Alibaba pay a record fine of 18.2 billion yuan, or $2.8 billion, after antitrust regulations say it has been acting as a monopoly. See, this is something really interesting. People are always going about, China this, Russia that, blah, 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 being so evil and hateful and all that stuff, which 100% factual. However, they're going after this guy, for $2.8 billion, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
We out-evil China by bucket loads because we are trying to get $1 trillion out of Alex Jones.
Yeah. Well,
like we are so vastly more evil,
Forget the money. The founder of Alibaba disappeared.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Someone in the government didn't like him. He disappeared.
Yep.
Nobody knows where he is.
Yep. This
there
guy
he
here.
is.
Yep. Jack Ma. Well, I know that name very well. Anybody who watches China Uncensored, China in Focus, Chris Chappell, you do. I know that. Well, anyway, before we move on to the Burst and Death's audience, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most? Anything you wish we had elaborated more about? Anything you would have liked to say had you been here? Start a dialogue in the comments section. Are you going to head out or stick around?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
We've rolled through it.
Yep. Moving on up to Burst. Starting us off in 401, we have Theodosius II. The Younger was an Eastern Roman emperor from 408 to 450, born in Constantinople. And then doing a 1100-year time jump, we got Hugo Grotius in 1583, a just jurist, father of international law, born in Delft, Holland. Wow. 1651, we have Elfried Walter von Schickschaffer, German mathematician. This transformation, born in Kieswald, Margraviate, Upper Lustria, Saxony. But what is this thing here? Let's check this out. This transformation. In mathematics, this transformation, also known as that transformation, is a type of mapping on polynomials developed by Einrad Walter von blah 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 in 1683. Simply, it is a method for transforming a polynomial equation of degree n is greater than 2 with some non-zero intermediate coefficients. Here's another example, such that some or all of the transformed intermediate coefficients are exactly 0. Okay.
Wow, that's way over my head.
Yeah, where's our cousin who used to work for NASA? Let's show him this and tell him to explain it to us, simpletons. 1656, we got René Lepage de Saint Clair, Lord Founder of the town of Rimouski in New France, born in Rouen, Burgundy, France. Samuel Hahnemann, German physician, originator of homeopathy, born in Meissen, Dresden. So he's the creator of homeopathic medicine and all that stuff. 1794, Matthew C. Perry, Commodore of the United States Navy, who opened Japan to Western influence and trade, born in Newport, Rhode Island. 1796, and this really annoyed me. It's not highlighted. James Bowie,
Oh.
the Bowie knife, the guy,
Yeah.
U.S. pioneer and soldier, Texas Revolution, born in Logan, Kentucky, and he died at the Alamo.
Yeah. No, I know that.
Alongside wow, the
Daniel Boone.
yeah, that guy. And what was the other guy? Davy Crockett. Thank
Davey.
you.
Yeah, there you go.
We also have 1797, Claude Ambrose Stuart, a Frenchman exhibited in England as a human skeleton, born in Champagne, France. So let's see if we can get a picture of him. I know there's no photographs back in those times, so. Oh wow. Emaciated. So yeah, that's why he was called the human skeleton. Apparently, this is what he looked like. That is, eat some food, my friend. Anyway, let's get rid of all that. 1827, we have Lewis Lew Wallace, U.S. author of Ben-Hur and Major General of the Union Army, born in Brookville, Indiana. We all know about Ben-Hur.
Yeah, the author, huh?
Yep. 1829, William Booth, English preacher and founder of the Salvation Army, born in Snitton, Nottingham, England. 1847, Joseph Pulitzer, a Hungarian U.S. publisher, St. Louis Post-Dispatch, New York World, and Democratic politician whose bequest founded the Columbia School of Journalism and the Pulitzer Prize, born in Mako, Kingdom of Hungary. So this is the guy.
Yep.
1857, Henry Ernst Dunsey, English mathematician and puzzle maker, born in Mayfield, East Sussex, England. So let's see if we can find any puzzles from this guy. Okay, so just made some random puzzles. Alright, let's move on up. 1880, we have Frances Perkins, a U.S. politician and first woman to hold cabinet-level position, Labor Party 1933 through 45. She was there for a while. Born in Boston, Massachusetts. First woman to hold a cabinet-level position. That's cool.
Yeah, that is.
1892, Egon Ferrier von Eichstätt, German anthropologist, classified humans into races, born in Jersis, Germany. Well, of course a German would, classify people into races. So, 1895, Ben Nicholson, English painter and sculptor, Circle, born in Denham, Buckinghamshire, England. Alright, so Ben Nicholson, Circle. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that, okay. So he made that painting. Alright, I've seen that a couple of times. We got Stephen Nagy, 1913, was a U.S. bowler, the first televised perfect game of a score of 300 in 1954 at the ABC Hall of Fame in 1963. Oh, that's weird. He was later in the ABC Hall of Fame in 1963. He was born in Shalf, Pennsylvania. Alright. First televised perfect game, that's cool.
Yeah.
1915, Harry Morgan, a U.S. actor, December Bride, MASH from 1975 through 83 as Colonel Sherman Potter. After MASH, he was Dragonette Bill Gannon, born in Detroit, Michigan, died in 2011. 1915, Leo Vrooman, Dutch U.S. hematologist and poet, born in Gouda, Netherlands. What is a hematologist? Hemoglobin? Blood doctor? What does a hematologist do? Hematologists and hemopathologists are highly trained healthcare providers who specializes in diseases of the blood and blood components. These include blood and bone marrow cells. Hematopoeial tests can help diagnose anemia, infection, hemophilia, blood clotting disorders, and leukemia.
Yeah.
Alright. So that's what he was. 1921, Chuck Connors, U.S. author and actor, the rifleman branded Cowboy in Africa, professional basketball and baseball player, born in Brooklyn, New York. That's a career change.
Yeah.
So, 1921, Sheb Woolley, U.S. vocalist, the Purple People Eater,
Oh.
born in Eric, Oklahoma. 1925, Bernard Montessier, French sailor, vagabond, and author who famously led the first non-stop single-handed round-the-world yacht race before sailing a second lap of the world back to Tahiti, born in Saigon, French Vietnam. Wow. 2 years later, 1927, we have Wesley A. Clark, U.S. computer designer, first personal computer, the LINC, born in New Haven, Connecticut. Well, thank you. 1929, Max von Sydow, Swedish actor in Hawaii, Exorcist Dune, and Game of Thrones, born in Lund, Sweden. So, Exorcist Dune, Game of Thrones, I know those. And if anybody's seen those movies, it was this guy.
Oh.
So he looks a lot like, well, not at all, never mind. He looked farther away, he did, like our current head of state. So, a little bit.
Oh.
Like Brandon. So.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
It is. Let's move on up to 1930. We have Dolores Huerta, was a U.S. civil rights activist who co-founded the United Farm Workers.
Yeah.
We know that. Born in Dawson, New Mexico. United Farm Workers. Cesar Chavez, right?
Yeah, Cesar Chavez.
Okay, I was getting it right then. 1932, Omar Sharif, a.k.a. Michael Dimitri Shalab, an Egyptian actor, Dr. Zhivago, and Lawrence of Arabia, born in Alexandria. Alright. Oh, here's this guy again, Sido, so I'm trying to catch up. Here we go. Oh, we're going to get to him here in a second. 1932, we have, we already got that, so we'll get to him now. 1936, John Madden, football! U.S. Pro Football Hall of Fame coach, Oakland Raiders, 1969 through 78, Super Bowl 1976, as well as a sportscaster, has 16 Emmy Awards, CBS, Fox, ABC, NBC, Madden NFL video games, which let's be honest, it's the same game released every single time. Born in Austin, Minnesota.
He was a great announcer.
Yeah.
Great football coach too.
Does our football? Sorry, what?
He was also a very good coach.
Yeah, really good.
1937, we have Stan Meller, MBE, a British national hunt jockey and trainer. First jumps jockey to ride 1,000 winners. Champion jockey 1960-62, born in Manchester, England. 1951, we have wannabe tough guy Steven Seagal, born on this date. A U.S. actor, above the law, hard to kill, born in Detroit, Michigan. I'm using actor very liberally in this sense of the word.
I take it you don't like him.
He is terrible. 1952, Mark Goldenberg, U.S. session and touring guitarist, Jackson Browne and Cher, songwriter, the Pointer Sisters, Peter Frampton, and producer, born in Chicago, Illinois. Then we have 1959, Babyface, Kenneth Edmonds, a U.S. Grammy Award-winning rhythm and blues singer, songwriter, Every Time I Close My Eyes, and record producer, Boyz II Men, Whitney Houston, Ariana Grande, and Eric Clapton. Born in Indianapolis, Indiana. A lot of big names there.
Yeah.
1959, Yvon Loubier, Canadian politician and one of the founders of the Bloc Québécois, born in Montreal, Quebec. What is a Bloc Québécois? Bloc Québécois. The Bloc Québécois is a federal political party in Canada devoted to Quebec nationalism and the promotion of Quebec sovereignty. The Bloc was formed by members of Parliament who defected from the federal Progressive Conservative Party and Liberal Party during the collapse of the Meech Lake Accord.
So they wanted to secede from Canada.
All right. So not everything is sunny in Canada, it seems. So. 1965, we have Diablo Francois Kier, Burkina Faso architect, Grando Primary School, born in Grando, Burkina Faso. So let's see if I can find a picture of that. Okay, that's not bad. Actually, that's a pretty cool. The roof is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me bigger this here. That's actually not bad. Like it looks like just a crap rest stop at first, but it actually. There's some architecture and planning into this. That looks pretty cool. So, Anyway, then we got Tim Alexander, 1965. U.S. funk metal drummer, Primus Pork Soda. Pork Soda, that sounds nasty. Born in Cherry Point, North Carolina. And then last but not least, we got Haley Joel Osment, 1988. A U.S. actor in The Sixth Sense, AI, and Pay It Forward. Born in Los Angeles, California. Is that the child actor? Who played the kid in the robot? Hold on a second. Sixth Sense. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, that's also the kid who played the robot, the little robot kid in AI, artificial intelligence.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on into Des. Starting us off in 879, we have Louis II, the Stammerer, King of the West Franks. Stammerer.
I got it.
During a significant time jump here, we have 1585. Gregory the 13th was an Italian pope from 1572 through 85, who introduced the Gregorian, the new style calendar, in 1582. Dies at 83, the calendar that we use today.
Yeah.
It's So for almost 500 years, we've been using the same calendar, and it's become a global thing. So, which is astounding. Like I cannot express how mind-boggling it is for all the differences and all the strife that we have. Like in today's world and everything, we still find a way to have a unified measurement. Of time, calendar, weight. For the most part, we're a holdout with the imperial system. Everybody's using metric.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, everybody's like, they hate each other, but we at least agree on something.
Well, I don't think the Middle East is using it. I think they're I don't know what
They
it's called.
do for merchants.
Oh, okay.
So, like, they probably have their own system in their own little bubble.
Yeah,
but
I think every month or whatever it is, it's like I don't know.
if they
It's
want to
different,
trade
I
with
know
the
that.
rest of the world, there has to be a unified, thing. So. Anyway, we got 1760. Gerald George Clifford, Dutch head of East India Company and plant collector, grew first bananas indoors.
How about that?
Interesting. 1806, Horatio Gates, British-U.S. soldier, general of the Continental Army during the Revolution. All right. I think I've heard of Horatio Gates a couple of times. We have Joseph Louis Lagrange, died on this date in 1813, was an Italian mathematician and astronomer, number theory, and celestial mechanics. All right. 1823, Karl Leonhard Reinhold, an Austrian philosopher, elementary philosophy, died at the age of 65. Elementary philosophy. Okay, what is elemental philosophy? An elementary teaching philosophy statement captures a teacher's reasons for teaching, what methods he or she plans to use as examples of any teaching experience. The statement needs to be specific to this teacher's situation. Okay, so it's all just theory. 1938, Joseph King Oliver, U.S. jazz cornet player, composer, band leader, and mentor to Louis Armstrong, dies of arteriosclerosis at the age of 56. What the hell is that?
You haven't heard of it?
I have not. It is a type of vascular disease where the blood vessels carrying oxygen away from the heart arteries became damaged from factors such as high cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, and certain genetic influences. Alright, that sucks. And what's a cornet? Never heard of a cornet. Cornets. Oh, okay, it's one of those. Alright. Let's move on up here to 1945. Hendrik Nicholas Workman, a Dutch artist, the Blue Barge, and Renaissance fighter, executed at 63. Yikes. So the Blue Barge. The Blue Barge. Let's check out what this looks like. Oh, I think this is it. Okay. Huh. Alright, so it's a painting. 1954, Auguste Lumière, French engineer and filmmaker who made the first movie, Workers Leaving Lumière Factory. So eat your heart out, Edison, you thief. 1954 as well, Ludwig Curtis, a German archaeologist, Die Antike Kunst. What is that? Let's check that out here. Die Antike Kunst. Oh, here we go, German edition. So it's a book. Okay. I guess it's a book on archaeology. Clarence Beaumont, 1956, the first batter in First World Series. Oh, wow. So the first batter in First World Series. Batter up. 1962, Stuart Sutcliffe, Scottish rocker who was the original bassist for the Beatles, died of a brain hemorrhage at 21. That sucks. The original bassist for the Beatles, look at that.
Yeah.
1965, Linda Darnell, U.S. actress, Unfaithfully Yours, A Letter to Three Wives, dies from burns received from a house fire at 41. That sucks. 1965, Harley Earl, U.S. automobile designer, first head of design at General Motors. 74, Roger Bastide, French sociologist, study of Afro-Brazilian and Afro-Caribbean religions. That's an interesting thing to study. 1975, Marjorie Main, a.k.a. Mary Tomlinson, a U.S. vaudeville and screen actress, The Egg and I, Ma and Pa Kettle Films, Another Thin Man, died of lung cancer at 85. The Egg and I, that sounds like a meme. So, and Pump remembers the egg meme. I sent it to him with all the various types of eggs. Actually, I have two types of eggs memes.
That I do.
Yep. So I wonder if that is involved with the Egg and I. 1979, we have Nino Rado, Giovanni Roda Rinaldi, Italian classical and film score composer, Il Capello di Pagala di Friends, and The Godfather 1 and 2 and 16 Fellini films.
Okay.
Died from a coronary thrombosis. Izem Sarati, 1983, PLO ambassador to Portugal, murdered. 1992, Sam Kinison, U.S. screaming comedian and actor, born back to school in Charlie Hoover, died in a car crash at 38. What the hell is a screaming comedian? They just scream.
I have no idea.
1994, James L. Lyons, a U.S. jazz promoter, founder of the Monterey Jazz Festival.
Uh-huh.
All right. 1999, Jean Vander Pyle, U.S. voice, radio, and film actress, The Flintstones and the Jetsons. Jean Vander Pyle, let's see here. Let's see if it shows us who she voiced. Obviously Wilma. So, because she's dressed like Wilma right there. So, she also kind of looks like Mom a little bit. So,
That's a stretch.
the year 2000, Larry Linville, U.S. actor in MASH from 1972 through 77 as Major Frank Burns, died of pneumonia following cancer surgery. That sucks.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. 2003, Little Eva, a U.S. pop singer, Do the Locomotion,
Yeah.
died of cerebral cancer at the age of 59. 2010, Lech Kaczynski, Polish lawyer and politician, then president of Poland, was killed in the crash of a Polish Air Force Tu-154 at the age of 60. And as well as his wife here, Maria Kaczynski, Polish economist and First Lady of Poland, was killed in the crash of a Polish Air Force, same thing.
Yeah.
So they went down together at least, so... Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 11 Mountain, 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And Father Pop.
Yep, and you, audience viewer, are of course you. And until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!